You know when you're scrolling online and you see an article that's just everywhere? Have you ever stopped to wonder what it really took to make that happen? I mean, not just the words on the page, but the whole blueprint underneath? Well, today we're going to peel back all those layers on one single article and show you the incredible machine that's working just beneath the surface.
So this is really the big question we're trying to answer. Because let's be honest, in today's world with so much content out there, success isn't an accident anymore. It's not a lightning strike. It's engineered right from the very beginning with a mind-boggling amount of strategy. So let's take a look at what that engineering actually involves.
All right, so here it is. This is the article we're putting under the microscope. Now, at first glance, it just looks like another listicle, right? A simple guide. But what you're seeing here is literally just the tip of a giant strategic iceberg. Every single word, the topic, that under $10 price point, even the year 2026, was chosen for a very specific reason. And we're about to find out why.
So where do you even start with a plan like this? Well, it doesn't begin with fancy tech or a list of keywords. Nope. It starts with a really human problem, a feeling, a kind of anxiety that I'm willing to bet a lot of us know all too well.
Subscription fatigue. We've all been there. You glance at your credit card statement and it hits you. Another $10 here, $20 there. All these little subscriptions for software and services, they just stack up. This entire article's strategy is built on identifying that one specific feeling, that financial anxiety, that sense that you're being priced out of the latest cool tech. That's the bullseye.
Now this is fascinating. This slide maps out exactly what's going on in a potential reader's head. See, the strategy isn't just about throwing content out there and hoping for the best. It's about intercepting someone at the perfect moment of need. It starts with step 1, awareness, that, I'm paying too much moment. Then comes consideration, where they start Googling for alternatives. And this article is engineered to show up right there at that exact moment to guide them to a decision. It's so precise. Okay, so we've got the why, the human problem. Now let's get into the how. How do you actually build a piece of content that search engines will find, understand, and then show to people? This is where the art of writing really meets cold, hard data science.
This is not guesswork. Just look at this data. The strategy is like a full-on campaign targeting different kinds of searches. You've got your primary keyword. That's the main prize. Then you have commercial keywords for people who have their wallets out, ready to buy. But my favorite, it's the question keywords. See how the difficulty, that KD number, is super low? That makes them way easier to rank for, so you can catch people right at the beginning of their research. It's a brilliant, full-spectrum attack.
And believe me, it goes way deeper than just a few keywords. To really signal to Google that this article knows what it's talking about, the plan is to build something called a semantic cloud. That just means you're naturally weaving in all these related tech terms, like SaaS, large language model, and API wrapper, which is basically a way for smaller apps to use the power of a giant AI. What this does is it tells Google's own AI, hey, I'm not just some flimsy list, I'm a legitimate expert-level resource on this whole topic.
So the article itself is built around a few core ideas, and this one is maybe the most powerful, this idea of the unbundling of AI. The strategy here is to frame the whole thing as a clear choice. On one side, you have that big, expensive, do-it-all chatbot for $20 a month. But on the other side, you've got these sharp, specialized, micro SaaS tools that solve one single problem perfectly for under $10. It's an incredibly compelling argument to make.
All right, so we have the strategy, we have the keywords. You could say that's the skeleton of the article. But the visuals, that's the soul. And the plan isn't to just go find some generic stock photos. No way. It's to craft a very specific emotional vibe completely from scratch.
Just listen to the level of detail in this creative prompt for the main hero image. Glowing futuristic gemstone, scattered coins. This isn't just describing a picture, it's building a whole mood. The goal here is to create this feeling of accessible power. It makes cutting-edge tech feel warm, affordable, and totally within your grasp. And get this one. This is so smart. It visually explains the entire point of the article in a split second. This prompt is designed to create an image that just screams, you are getting huge, big company-level value for a tiny, tiny cost. It's an amazing way to land your core message without needing a single word of text. And finally, this is where the strategy connects the tool to the real human payoff. This image isn't about the software at all. It's about the feeling you get after you've used the software. It's that relief, that joy, that feeling of success. It sells the destination, not just the car that gets you there. So this all brings us to the really big question. So what? Why go to all this trouble? Why is this incredibly detailed strategy so important right now? Well, it's because this one article isn't happening in a vacuum. It's a direct response to a massive shift across the entire tech industry, a shift that's been building for years.
This timeline really puts everything into perspective. Back in 2023, Gemini was this huge thing for big companies. But then, by 2025, you have these API price wars that slash costs for developers, and that sets off a micro SaaS boom. And that boom is what floods the market in 2026 with all of these amazing sub-$10 tools that our article's all about. This content strategy literally couldn't exist without this exact market evolution.
And you have to understand, this isn't some little niche trend. It lines up perfectly with the public mission of the biggest tech companies on the planet. Google's own CEO says he wants to make AI helpful for everyone, and it's this market of small, scrappy developers that's actually making that happen.
And just to hammer the point home that this is a massive, industry-wide trend, here's a quote from OpenAI's CEO. It points to the core economic engine driving all of this. The actual cost of the computing power behind AI is plummeting, and that's what makes this entire new ecosystem of cheap, powerful tools possible in the first place.
And that brings us right here to our final thought. As the cost of both AI and creating content basically drops to zero, we are going to be living in a world of infinite stuff. And in that future, is this kind of deep, data-driven, and really empathetic human strategy going to be the only thing left that truly makes anyone, or anything, stand out? Definitely something to think about.